Hello, Aries rising. This is your new moon and Taurus forecast for today, May 19th, and the next 2 weeks. And the big story for you is a new moon in your second house of finances, assets, material wealth, also values and self worth. So there's been a lot of change there. Uranus has been there for a few years. Upheaval could be something that is featured in your financial area, change in values, change in, for instance, maybe wanting to accumulate wealth. Now Jupiter's there expanding that with the North Node. So wealth, finances, all of that is very important to you right now. And that is what you're setting intentions on for this new moon. Mars is sextile to that in your fourth house of home and family. So maybe it's like, I need to sell my house. Maybe it's like, I don't know what these ideas are. It could be, I need to, involve my family more in what we buy, in our decision making process. You may want to redo your home. All those things could come up with the new moon in Taurus. It could also be about, saying, hey, child, you're spending too much money on my Amazon account. All of those things are possible. The sextile is opportunity, though, to Mars and Cancer. So there is an opportunity maybe coming from your home and family area for your financial area. Now, that being said, Mars moves into your fifth house of children uh, tomorrow, Saturday, the 20th, and it will square Jupiter to your second house of finances. Now, the fifth house is not only children, it is romance, it's also creativity, it's inner child, it's your creative projects, it's fun, it's joy. So there is this push for fun, romance, for catering to your inner child or maybe your children. But there is this perhaps opportunity to, and it's really more like it's less like an opportunity and more like uh, a compelling moment where you feel the need to have fun, to go after these creative projects with Jupiter in your second house square to Mars in your fifth house. Now, Jupiter tends to expand everything, even when Mars is in square to it. So this could be overdoing it on the partying, overdoing it on the love, joy, and fun, and maybe spending too much money, something of that nature. So it's important to be aware of that this coming week with regards to not only your inner child, your creative um, projects, or your children in general, and your fun versus your money and your values and how those two adjust around each other. So it could be, for instance, there may be a moment where you want to go out and have fun, but you can't spend the money because you're trying to save for a car or something of that nature. So be aware of that. Pluto will be in your 11th house of networking, future, and there may feel like you need to reform your goals, or you need to reform who you hang out with, or maybe a group of friends is like, what do you mean you don't have the money to come out? Or what do you mean you're saving? That's lame. So it's going to be a moment where you have to kind of stand up for yourself and what your values are. Just remember to try not to overdo it. But this is a moment that we are encouraged to take action. So what you're taking action on is your creative impulses, your own joy. And I think the future, the networks, the friend groups, that's going to be a theme for like a decade or more. So Pluto will be in Aquarius for a long time. And in fact, it'll retrograde back into Capricorn. So this is more of a long-term thing with Pluto. But this moment with Mars opposing Pluto does indicate something may need to change very quickly, or you may need to end something very quickly. Maybe a goal that you had based on new values, or a creative project that you want to do, or friend groups. It's like, hey, if you don't understand that I'm trying to save money for a car, and I keep giving this example because it's easy. So please don't think that that's exactly what may happen to you. But, it may be a situation where you're like, I can't hang out with you anymore because you don't understand where I'm coming from. So that is something to note. The other thing is with the home stuff, Venus will sextile Uranus next week, like Tuesday the 30th. Oh, sorry, no, actually, it's at the end of this week, isn't it? It's Friday the 26th is when Venus will sextile Uranus. So there is an opportunity to change something. It could come from your home and family area. And it could be about money. or relationships. It really just depends on what's going on in your life. I would definitely pay attention to Friday the 26th as well. And then Saturday or Sunday, actually, let's go with Saturday, is this mutable T square between Gemini, the sun's in Gemini, and your third house of decision making, the way you communicate, and it's square to Saturn, which is in your 12th house of needing a break, and the moon is in your 6th house of work. So Saturday may feel a little bit like too much work, too much thinking, and it could feel a little oppressive on Saturday. And that's something just to note on the 27th. But that will let off pretty soon. But that weekend does feature the sun square Saturn. So it's a need to make a decision based on your inner peace, I think, based on how you want your daily life to go, based on the spiritual needs you have. Saturn's in your 12th house. Okay, well, that kind of does it for the new moon and also the other transits going on around this new moon. I hope you have a good couple of weeks. I will see you around June 3rd for the full moon in Sagittarius. Catch you on the flip side, Aries rising.